What's up, fellow hunters? Nox here. Welcome back. Today we're gonna talk Gunlance. Comfortable sets, fun sets, meta sets. 5 builds for you guys and some tips on how to adjust them for yourself coming up. One important thing before we jump in. Don't get discouraged by my talismans if you don't have a similar one. I'll show some easy to get talismans after each build that will get you all the essential skills. Let's go. We're gonna kick things off with a big damage raw build, the Boomstick. Weapon of choice, the Rampage Gunlance. We customize the weapon with sharpness type 1, non-elemental boost, and long type shelling. This gives us 220 attack and white sharpness with 1 level of handicraft. In this case, mine of course has long type shelling, but keep in mind that you can choose whatever type you want. Don't worry about the talisman, by the way. You can simply drop 1 level of crit boost or protective polish if needed, and make this work with only 2 level 2 slots. We increase the shelling damage on all builds with artillery level 3 and load shells. Artillery is the most essential skill for Gunlance. At level 3, it increases the shelling damage by a massive 30% and decreases Wyvern Fire cooldown by 50%. This skill has insane value. We don't use attack boost here because raw attack power has no influence on shell damage at all, which sadly makes the skill a huge waste on Gunlance right now. That's why we have Weakness Exploit, Critical Eye, and Critical Boost to increase the damage on our physical hits as efficiently as we can. We have Protective Polish level 3 and Speed Sharpening to easily maintain the white sharpness. And we also have a few guard skills which come in super handy as the Gunlance has one of the best shields in the game. Flinch Free level 1 is of course included in the builds as well, so we don't get tripped by our teammates. The stun resistance is a free bonus from the chest piece. Loyal Friend. We're using one of the most consistently good weapons in the franchise, the Rathian Gunlance. 206 attack, white sharpness with 3 levels of handicraft, and 26 poison. It's easy to make and a very solid weapon choice if you're just starting out with Gunlance. If you don't want to go for white sharpness, you don't have to, but it is the most efficient damage option here for now. Aside from that, we have the same shelling essentials and a few extra critical hit skills to increase damage output. We will see a trend in some of the skills and armor pieces due to their efficiency. Like before, we use the combination of Protective Polish and Speed Sharpening for sharpness management. The extra levels of poison attack are just a convenient bonus from my talisman. 2 level 2 slots will already get you all the essentials. The ideal choice would be a talisman that has some speed sharpening on it as well, which is not rare. When using Gunlance, make sure to eat for Bombardier. It increases the damage of shells by an additional 15%, which is a nice bonus. These are just a few Dango combinations that I use pretty often for Gunlance. Now we get into some builds that have evade extender on them for increased mobility. First in line is the Infernal Blast. Weapon of choice is the super well balanced Ragnakadaki Gunlance. 180 attack, natural white sharpness, 27 fire, 25% affinity, and a bunch of slots. Easily one of the best Gunlances in the game right now. For damage, we have a healthy stack of our base critical hit skills, in addition to the ones that increase our shell damage. But now we have 2 very big differences. We have Evade Extender level 2 for vastly increased mobility. This can even be pushed to level 3 if we choose to drop the extra level of handicraft. And instead of Protective Polish, we're using Razor Sharp. This gives us a 50% chance to not lose any sharpness when we attack, which goes super well with this Gunlance. And full Speed Sharpening, which makes it super easy to sharpen back up whenever we need to. I have some Divine Blessing as a bonus here, but it's definitely not needed. 2 levels of Evade Extender and a level 2 slot on the Talisman would be ideal. But if we take out the extra level of handicraft, just 2 level 2 slots will work fine as well. We would only drop 1 level of crit boost. Before we move on, here's a bonus tip. When using Gunlance builds with Razor Sharp, make sure you utilize the Silkbind move, Guard Edge. It's an instant block that also restores a bit of sharpness when timed correctly. So naturally, this has great synergy with Razor Sharp. This combo can allow us to get a lot more out of our sharpness. Definitely keep that in mind. Next up, Wolf Cry. A lot of hunters like the Howitzer for its great design, and it's still a solid weapon choice if you want to use it at this point in the game. But the better choice would simply be creating your own. Just make the Rampage Gunlance and give it the Howitzer design. If we then pick Sharpness type 4, it straight up turns into a better version of the Howitzer. It now has 20 additional raw and the option to pick whatever shot type you like. We have a lot of the previous skill essentials intact. Slightly higher guard skills and level 3 evade extender, which can be lowered to level 2 if you prefer. Doing so gives us a free level 2 slot to customize. If you prefer using Protective Polish, you can easily do so by switching the Almudron chest for the Vikemail S. For the Talisman, anything like the examples on screen will get you all the essentials. You will only lose 1 level of crit boost at the most, which isn't bad at all. This right here is another reason the Gunlance really needs a buff in Sunbreak. We have so many innovative and amazing designs, like the Corn Popper, Magnamalo, and the Bushi Gunlance, just to name a few. I really hope Gunlance gets a major upgrade in Sunbreak, so more of these become viable. Pride of Steel. We're using one of my favorite Gunlances in terms of design, the Kushala Gunlance. 170 attack, natural white sharpness, 44 ice, a level 1 slot, and very important here, Kushala Soul as rampage skill. With Kushala Soul active, we actually have up to 95% affinity on weak spots here, which makes this much stronger than it seems. Aside from that, we have a very similar skill setup to some of the previous builds, with a few additional comfort skills thrown on top. I absolutely love using this build on Rajang or Diablos fights, for example. I'm using the same Talisman as before. The examples from earlier will get you all the essential skills here as well. The Talisman with a Vade Extender would again be the ideal choice. I recommend checking out the playlist in the top right if you want to see more builds. Social media links are down below. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.